dog left to die on the streets finally finds someone who wouldn't give up on him. Dexter's story began on the cold, empty streets. He was weak, starving, and alone. His ribs showed through his thin skin, and his body was covered with wounds. It was clear he had been struggling to survive for a long time. No one knew how many days he had gone without food, or how many freezing nights he had spent trying to find shelter. When animal control finally found him, he could barely stand. They took him to the shelter, but even there, his life was hanging by a thread. The vets immediately noticed how serious his condition was. He was underweight, his fur was falling out, and he had a limp in one of his back legs. It looked like he might have been hit by a car at some point. Thankfully, the injury wasn't too serious, and they treated it quickly. Even with food, water, and medical care, Dexter didn't seem to believe he was safe. He stayed quiet in his kennel, lying in the corner, too tired and scared to interact with anyone. Days passed, and people came and went, choosing other dogs, younger, cuter, healthier ones. No one even looked twice at him. After a while, his name was placed on the euthanasia list. The shelter was full, and no one was stepping forward for him. It seemed like this would be the end of Dexter's story. But just when things looked hopeless, a small rescue group saw his file and decided to act. They knew they had to save him. The rescue group already had too many dogs in their care, but they made room for one more, for Dexter. It wasn't easy. Legal delays and lack of space almost stopped them, but they managed to pull him out just in time. They said that if they had been even a few hours late, he might not have made it. Once he was safe with them, they began working on his recovery. They gave him nutritious food, treated his wounds, and helped him gain weight. Slowly, his body started to heal, but emotionally he was still closed off. He wouldn't make eye contact, wouldn't wag his tail, and flinched whenever someone tried to touch him. Then one day everything changed. A woman who had heard about Dexter's story reached out to the rescue. She said she wanted to meet him. When she arrived, Dexter was lying in the corner of his kennel, head down, barely moving. She didn't rush or call to him. She just sat quietly nearby. After a while, Dexter lifted his head and looked at her. Their eyes met, and something seemed to click. She reached out her hand, letting him sniff it. For the first time in a long while, Dexter didn't pull away. That simple moment was the start of a new chapter. She decided to adopt him. On the car ride home, Dexter sat beside her the entire way. He didn't bark or panic. He just rested his head near her arm, as if realizing he was finally safe. At first, adjusting to his new home took time. He was shy, unsure of what to do. Every sound made him jump, and he preferred quiet corners where he could watch from a distance. But his new owner was patient. She gave him space, comfort, and love, things he had never truly known. Day by day, Dexter began to change. He started eating regularly, walking around the house, and even wagging his tail a little when she came near. His fur grew back, his weight returned, and his scars began to fade. But the biggest change was in his eyes. The sadness that once filled them was slowly replaced by light and trust. After a few weeks, his true personality came out. The once broken dog was now playful and full of energy. He loved exploring the yard and chasing after his new toys. He'd follow his owner everywhere, always staying close, as if afraid to lose her. His favorite part of the day quickly became cuddle time. Every night, he'd curl up next to her, resting his head on her lap, and drift off to sleep. For the first time, Dexter was living the life he had always deserved, warm, safe, and loved. Soon, Dexter met the other pets in the house, a friendly dog and a curious cat. At first, he was unsure, but they accepted him right away. Before long, they were inseparable. The three of them would nap together in the sun and play around the house like siblings. Looking at him now, it's hard to believe he was once that weak, forgotten dog on the streets. His fur shines, his tail never stops wagging, and his eyes are full of happiness. Dexter's journey is a reminder that even when life seems hopeless, a second chance can change everything. He went from being unwanted and alone to being loved and part of a family. His rescuer often says that adopting Dexter didn't just save his life, it changed hers, too. Seeing him happy every day reminds her why it's so important to never give up on animals like him. If Dexter's story touched your heart, please like this video and share it. Every time a story like his is shared, it helps more dogs find their forever homes. Because for every Dexter out there, there's someone waiting, someone who just needs a little love, a little patience, and a chance to start again.